What's up, gang? Welcome back to the kitchen. Today I've cooked up Sultai Delver. It doesn't actually have Delver of Secrets, but the core concept of playing cheap threats and interaction is what we're going for here. I've been brewing a lot with Psychic Frog. The card is really, really good. If you can play it and you're not, you should probably start playing it. But otherwise, let's get into the deck list. So for our threat suite, we've got 5 1-drops and a bunch of 2-drops and a couple of 3-drops. All of these cards are individually quite powerful, but as a shell, your ideal is to play some kind of interaction early on, play a threat, and hopefully ride it to victory. You'll note that there's a Nadu and a Springheart Nantuko without much other support. I think Fair Nadu is something that's a little underexplored at the moment. It is a 3-mana 3/4 flyer that's really hard to kill without generating value, and I think that's important. What's notable as well in this particular deck is that if they try to kill Nadu or your other creatures and you get Nadu triggers, and then you play a counterspell, you actually start pulling really, really far ahead. So it's something to think about. But otherwise, there's nothing too crazy in the threat suite, except maybe Nimble Mongoose. It's a pet card of mine. I love when the goose is loose, and I'll try everything I can to make that happen again. Sorceries, nothing crazy here. We've got to reanimate, some discard spells, and some draw spells. Pretty stock for any blue-black X deck. Instants also look pretty much the same. This particular deck is playing the Thought Scour and the Mental Note, which not every cantrip suite will have. Sometimes it'll be a Consider, sometimes it'll just be a Brainstorm for instance, but because we have Murktide Regent, and we've got a bunch of Tarmogoyf variants and Nethergoyf that you can cast from the graveyard, I think it's probably enough to justify playing the Thought Scour and the Mental Note. We also have 2 Baubles. These cards are just good when you need Delirium. And they trigger Ledger Shredder, which is one of the important parts of it. The mana base doesn't have anything too crazy. Does have a Boseiju, which may make it difficult to cast some spells, so if you decide to play the deck and you need to tinker around with it to make sure that your spells are more castable, if you decide to change some of the spell suite, it's pretty reasonable, but otherwise it's a pretty stock mana base. In the sideboard, nothing too crazy as well. We've got some Blue Blast, we've got some Counter Magic, got a couple of threats. Bitter Blossom is a nice threat that you can play against a control deck, but it also introduces another card type for your Goyfs. We've got a couple of land hate pieces, a couple of enchantments to get you to that extra pip for your Goyfs. Energy Flux, Graveyard Hate, Life Gain, Jit, all pretty standard stuff. You can obviously change the sideboard to suit your metagame. But otherwise, general strategy of the deck, you'll play as interactive as you need to be in the early turns. You will then play any of your threats that can snowball and start generating incremental advantage, like Psychic Frog, and then hopefully eventually you'll play enough, or you'll put enough pressure on the board that you can start closing that game out and ending it before they can pull out of it. But otherwise, this is my take on Sultai Delver. If you'd like to tinker with it, or if you do decide to play it and get any results, feel free to put a message in the Discord and tag me, but otherwise you'll be able to find the deck list below, and I'll see you all later. This video was brought to you with the help and support of my lovely patrons. If you'd like to support me and my content and see your name up here on screen, you can click the link below to join on Patreon. If you do like the content, I'd urge you to subscribe if you can. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, you'll be notified of upcoming videos, and it is important to me so that I can grow the channel and hopefully bring you more content in the future. Leave a like on the video if you liked it, and I'll see you all later.